Hey guys, Seb at Specialty Z. Today we are putting together this VG30 DETT. This one had an issue with its rings, particularly in cylinder 5. It was just billowing smoke out of the catch can. If you don't have a catch can, you're going to see it coming right out of the exhaust. You can also take the oil cap off and you're just going to see essentially a chimney smokestack coming out of the valve cover. But this one, since it has a catch can, you can totally see just coming out of there like crazy. So it's going to go straight out of there. Thankfully, caught this thing early. So we're putting it all back together and we'll get it back in the car and we'll get this one on the dyno to see what it's going to make. So looking to be making somewhere around close to 600 wheel with this setup, limited again by our fuel injectors on E85. But this essentially has the Jim Wolf Sports 700s on here, the Gen 2 GTXs, a little bit of work now. Of course, because of all that, we've got pistons, rods, we've done cams. So this thing should do fairly well, should make good power without having to push too much boost pressure through it. So that'll be the key and that'll be nice. So yeah, you'll see this one hopefully soon. Gonna try and attack this thing, excuse me, try to get it done so that the engine is ready to go in by the end of the week. Today is Wednesday, so that'll be the goal. And then maybe by next week, we'll have it up and running. So there you have it. All right guys, so we've wrapped up the SSR install. We ran a brand new bulkhead fitting to the top of the factory assembly so we could get, good power, and we don't have the issue with our bulkhead connections giving us a bad connection essentially. There's a bunch of resistance and there was no continuity at certain times. So other thing that we did besides the SSR is we ran a dedicated ground from the battery up to the back to this grounding point. So it's a 10 gauge. And then we've got our fuel pump directly grounded to here as well. So it's reinforcing the ground in the back, helping the ABS system as well, and then getting a really good ground for our fuel pump, which is super important. Some people will just grab it off of here, which is okay, but it could be better. And we've got battery going to pole number 2 on our SSR. And then we've got a 12 volt from the ECU going to number 3. Number 4 is going to be our trigger wire, our output coming out of the ECU. Number 1, we've got our 12 gauge running to our fuel pump. So that's how we've got it set up. We have the diode and the resistor installed in line with all this stuff. And let's walk you through what needs to be done in the tune to get this all to work. So your regular trigger wire that was coming off of here, you don't want to use that anymore. You could repurpose it for something else. But this, because it's coming off of a relay, you just hijack that output and repurpose it. You would have to do a little bit of wiring to make that work. So cool thing is it's got a little LED, so you can make sure it's getting its 12 volt. So we'll start it up here in a sec, but let's go look at the tune. Okay, again, so under the engine functions drop down, we've got fuel pump, and on our main menu for the fuel pump, we are going to change the primary pump mode to digital duty cycle. So that originally is going to be digital switched output. Now it is going to go to a duty cycle, and that's going to open up another table under there because this is going to be pulse width now. We need a duty cycle table. And we here have selected DPO3 that was available to us. And we ran that DPO3 to our SSR. And then under primary output, we have our prime time. So we've got it set for 5 seconds. and then our pulse width modulation signal frequency. So this, you got to make sure that you don't have too high of a frequency. You can overheat the SSR. We've got it set for 200. That seems to work pretty good for these Walbro 450 series fuel pumps. And then we've got our fuel pump table. Just did a quick job of setting this up. This is going to be basically based on RPM on our y-axis. Our x-axis has load, and that's going to be in manifold pressure. So you can see that when we're cruising around, driving it around, we've got 35% duty cycle. Our table goes from 0 RPM all the way to 6,000 RPM. So of course, anything beyond 6,000 is going to run what your cell you have in there. So let's start it up so you can see. Guys, so at 35% duty cycle, I don't have the vacuum reference off, but you can see we are just at 40 psi. So I'm going to go over to the laptop and watch the fuel pressure. So I'm going to increase the duty cycle by 10%. We're going to go from 35 to 45 at idle and see what happens. So you can see it just jumped up a couple of psi at 45. We'll continue to go up a little bit more. And there you have it. There's 70% duty cycle, guys. See how the fuel pressure will come down, which is actually really cool. Allow us to continue to use our factory fuel pressure regulator and not overdrive it, not run the fuel pump at full speed all the time, which we don't need. It's going to build excess of heat in the fuel tank. The fuel is going to get hot, and the fuel pump itself is going to get hot. The wiring can get all hot. So this is the big benefit of doing a BUM with a solid state relay on any car that can do it with a standalone ECU. It's always the best way to do it. There are standalone controllers for guys maybe that have a stock ECU. You could do a narrow motive controller. It gets a little bit pricey doing it that way, but they have the ability to do the PWM with 2 fuel pumps as well. But since we've got it all built in through the Haltech, it's no big deal to get this thing all set up. So we're going to go ahead, we'll lower our fuel pressure down by lowering our duty cycle. And there you have it. That is 30% duty cycle. So you can see it's just below 40 of where we had it at 35. And that would be adequate. We can pull our vacuum reference off, and that's going to be our base fuel pressure, right? That's how you set your base fuel pressure. So I don't recommend going really below 30% duty cycle with these Walbro pumps, but you can see that we are right there at 42.5, just about, right where we want it. All right, so what we're gonna do next is we'll get it on the dyno. We're gonna check the state of tune to make sure everything is where it needs to be for fueling, especially at high load. So I have a feeling that we're gonna get more fuel with the same tune at our high load, which will be great. So it has a bit more headroom and it's not having to run quite as high of a injector duty cycle to keep the air fuel where it needs to. We probably might find that we can actually remove a little bit of fuel where we were having to add some at the high boost, high load areas. right, guys, everything worked out as planned, thankfully. No surprises. Dialed in a little bit of the fuel pump duty cycle table, really nothing too crazy. It worked perfect. So we've got it as soon as it's making boost, we're running 100% duty cycle, make sure our pump isn't having to work hard to play catch up. So it's doing fantastic. So again, limited on this car. I'm sure you guys maybe have not seen, or you have seen the build. This is just running Nismo 740cc side feeds. So we are, out of fuel system, 21 pounds of boost. This thing's already out of fuel system at the top. So ended up making 616. It was spinning. You can see here on that run, we had quite a bit of spin, and even on the previous run where we were just at 18 pounds, we were spinning as well. But we were just mainly doing this just to make sure our state of tune is good, make sure that, of course, it's making the power it's supposed to as well, and then our fuel pressure is keeping up with the new change. So, yep, super happy, working as planned, and hopefully this will become something where we'll have way more reliability out of it. So less headaches with, the fuel pump, prematurely failing, or the wiring prematurely failing, or the relay. So this is gonna do hopefully wonders. I'm happy with it, and going forward, any of these cars running a standalone, that is the way we plan to run them, is with an SSR. A little bit more work, but it is definitely worth it for good peace of mind. All right, guys, I'm out. All right, so that 618, that 21 pounds of boost, you guys can see here that that's where we truly just run out of injector and it just starts leaning out. But before then, plenty of fuel and plenty of headroom. But you can see just how efficient this whole setup is. Just going a couple 2 to 3 PSI, it really makes a lot more power. We're talking almost another 50 wheel from the 18 pound to 21 pound difference. 3 pound difference is considerable. So this thing has got a ton in it. Should Alex ever want to do a top feed setup, that'd be the way to do it. I wouldn't do anything aftermarket as far as a side feed injector is concerned, and then end up doing like ID at least 1050s, probably 1300s, just to make sure you have good headroom. So yeah, there you have it, all in a day's work, and let's go off to our next car.